Albert Einstein, whose theories changed the world of science forever, once faced a time in life when he wandered for 9 years looking for a job. In fact, among his classmates, he was the only one who didn't get a job. But who would have thought that the boy considered the slowest learner in school would one day be offered the position of president of Israel? What did Einstein say to the Israeli ambassador who brought this offer? And what were the reasons that such an intelligent person was rejected for so many jobs? Albert Einstein was born in 1879 in the German city of Ulm. From childhood, he was looked at strangely because he was not like other kids. He was a slow learner, started speaking late, and his teachers considered him an average or even a weak student. But the reason behind this was that Einstein viewed everything with curiosity. In school, when he didn't understand something, instead of memorizing it, he would try to grasp the concepts behind it. Because of this, he always lagged in the coursework. Einstein was very creative from a young age, something that was both a weakness and later became his greatest strength. His early education took place in Munich, where he strongly disliked the strict, discipline-based German schooling system. Eventually, he got so fed up that he left school and moved to Switzerland with his family, so he could study in a more liberal education system. He wanted to take admission in the Zurich Polytechnic College in physics and mathematics. In the entrance exam, he quickly solved the physics and mathematics papers, but failed miserably in other subjects like geology, literature, and politics. After the exam, one of the professors called Einstein into his office. Impressed by Einstein's answers in physics and math, he asked who had taught him. Einstein replied that he had studied everything on his own. However, in subjects that mostly required memorization, he had failed badly. The professor told him that if he wanted to get into the college, just physics and math wouldn't be enough. He would have to go back to school for 1 year and study the other subjects. Disheartened, Einstein went back to school for a year, and fortunately, the following year, he passed the entrance exam and was admitted to Zurich Polytechnic College. But even after joining college, Einstein's nature remained the same. He would skip boring lectures, study on his own, and wasn't the kind of student who would try to impress professors. As a result, when he graduated in 1900, none of the professors recommended him for a job. Though he was extremely intelligent, he had no strong references or mentors to help him land a research or academic job. Back then, professor recommendations were essential to get a job in science. Einstein, lacking that support, was left behind. While his classmates, despite being academically weaker, reached good positions due to strong professor backing, Einstein kept applying at universities, schools, and research institutes across Germany and Switzerland, only to be rejected everywhere. He wrote letters, met professors, but always got the same reply: "Sorry, we can't hire you." It was painful for Einstein personally. He felt like his talent and potential were not being recognized. His frustration is clearly evident in his letters and diaries. Once, he wrote in his diary, "It feels like the world has no need for me. Every door seems closed." In a letter to his family, he mentioned, "I apply everywhere, but no one replies. No one seems to need me. Nothing in life seems to be going right." In a famous letter to his girlfriend Maliva, Einstein wrote, "I feel like a useless man. I live only for physics, but the world only listens to those who fit into its system." This frustration began to affect his personal life as well. Financial pressure, relationship stress, and dissatisfaction with himself. Another issue was Einstein's overly idealistic nature. He was clear that he only wanted to do science-related work. He had no interest in practical or commercial jobs. At that time, he was in a relationship with his classmate Maliva, but they couldn't marry because Einstein didn't have a job. The financial pressure was mounting. Maliva expected him to start earning, but Einstein seemed stuck. At one point, he had to work as a private tutor, teaching math and physics to school students. Finally, a friend advised him to apply for a job at the Bern Patent Office as an examiner. It was a low-level government job, but at least a starting point. Einstein applied, and, surprisingly, despite lacking experience, he got the job in 1902. At the Bern Patent Office, his work was to review applications for new inventions and patents, to judge whether they were genuinely innovative. The job was boring, but for Einstein, it was a lifeline. Since it was a 9-to-5 job, He spent his nights and weekends doing scientific research. Even though it wasn't the professor job he wanted, it was better than nothing. Then came the turning point. While working at the patent office in 1905, Einstein published 4 revolutionary research papers in a single year. These included special relativity, photoelectric effect, Brownian motion, mass energy equivalence, famous as E equals mc squared. These papers shook the scientific world. The man with a small government job at the patent office suddenly became a sensation among Europe's physicists. His photoelectric effect paper laid the foundation for quantum physics, and the special relativity paper changed our understanding of time and space. After graduating in 1900, it took until 1909, 9 years, for Einstein to finally be offered a job as an assistant professor at the University of Zurich. Outside the world of science, people never fully understood Einstein. His public image was confusing. On one hand, a socially awkward scientist with wild hair buried in his books and theories. On the other, a serious figure who played an important political role as well. In 1932, Einstein fled Germany, just a year before Hitler came to power. Hitler was fiercely anti-Jewish, and Einstein came from a Jewish family. He moved to the United States and became a professor of theoretical physics at Princeton, New Jersey. He wasn't just a hero in science, but a respected face for the global Jewish community. During this time, the movement to establish a Jewish state, Israel, was underway, and conflict in Palestine was escalating. Eventually, Israel was formally founded in 1948. But just 4 years later, in 1952, Israel's first president, Chaim Weizmann, passed away. The Jewish leadership now needed a new figurehead. That's when Zionist leaders thought, why not offer the presidency of Israel to Albert Einstein? After all, he was a world-renowned physicist and a deeply respected personality, both a scientific and cultural icon. On November 17, 1952, Einstein received a letter. It was from Abba Eban, Israel's ambassador to the United Nations. The letter conveyed a message from Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion, asking, if the Israeli parliament elects you as president, would you accept the offer? You would have to move to Israel and take up its citizenship. The Prime Minister assures you that you will be able to continue your scientific work freely and comfortable. It was a huge and emotional offer, but Einstein had other plans. He replied with a letter that revealed another dimension of his personality. Einstein wrote, I'm deeply moved by the offer from Israel to become its president, but at the same time, I feel sad and ashamed that I cannot accept it. I have dealt all my life with objective matters, hence I have neither the natural ability nor the experience to deal properly with people and official duties. Einstein did not see himself as fit for political leadership. At the time, he was 73 years old. When he received the offer, he told a guest at his home that it was very awkward. He later explained to a newspaper in Jerusalem, which had been campaigning for him, that I don't want to face any situation where I might have to support government decisions that go against my conscience. Einstein wasn't declining the offer because he was politically incapable, but because he had never in his life compromised his conscience, no matter how prestigious the position or honor offered. People who were emotionally excited about the idea of Einstein becoming president of Israel forgot one important thing. Einstein was sympathetic to Israel, but he was never a passionate Zionist. In fact, in 1946, 2 years before Israel was founded, Einstein had said in front of an international community, the idea of a state is not appealing to me, meaning deep down, Einstein didn't believe in the concept of a separate Jewish state.